All right, we at season 2, and I am so excited for this episode. Shay, what we doing today?
I love this one. So, we are going to go behind the scenes to talk about fashion shows. And we couldn't do this alone. So, of course, we invited a special guest. And this guest, this is their first time on Fits and Facts, which I'm so excited about. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest, Mika Starr.
Mika.
Hey. How
Thank you
y'all
for
doing out
coming.
there, virtual world?
Yes. Welcome, welcome, Mika.
Well, I'm going to do this. Can you introduce yourself? Can you tell us what you do?
Yes.
Okay, I have my little slogan that everybody that knows me knows. I'm Mika Starr, your favorite stylist. And I do everything in fashion. I'm a stylist, I'm a designer. I put together fashion shows. I actually modeled a few times, but I'm not going to say I'm a model. I get too nervous for all that. but yeah, that's what I do. I'm also a student. I'm working on my fashion degree. I have a radio show called Culture Shock. So tune in for season 2 coming soon. I'm just an entrepreneur. I do everything. I just I'm the type of person that tries something, and if I like it, I just stick with it. But I just try to do everything. Like fashion is just so vague. It's so much things you can do in fashion. I love fashion, and I just want to grow as an artist, as whatever I do. I like behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. I just like fashion. Everything about fashion.
Thank you. I
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it. Okay, so I'm going to start. So, Shay, when you think about fashion shows, what do you think their real purpose is?
It's a huge marketing tool. So it's really a way to create buzz around a designer's newest collection. And it's also a way to showcase their artistic vision. So you're going to have designers bring out the media, now influencers, celebrities, of course, especially if it's a celebrity who is going to be wearing their brand a lot. So that's really what I see fashion shows as, is a huge marketing tool to create buzz around like the designer's newest collection.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so Star, Mika Star. Okay, from your experience, what do people not really understand about fashion shows?
I think people don't understand the work that goes into creating a fashion show. It's a lot of work. Depending on how big of a scale it is, it could take a whole year to plan a fashion show. So I feel like people don't understand the work. They just see the outcome. They don't understand the work, the stress. Like, I love the stress because it's like it keeps you on your toes, and it's like so unexpected. They don't understand the last minute hiccups that go on. Dealing with models is a big thing. Dealing with designers is another thing. And also, dealing with designers that don't understand the concept of how important a stylist is.
Okay.
That's
A
a good
lot
one.
of
Yes.
a lot of designers don't understand, like, okay, it's great you can make something, but do you know how to sell it? Do you know how to style
Yeah.
it? Do you know how to make it look like a look? Because you can make a garbage bag look like something. So it's just, I think people don't understand everything that goes on behind the scenes. And I didn't understand what goes on behind the scenes until I was actually in it. And I was just like, oh my God, it's so much work just from the start, from the beginning.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Very well said. I agree. I concur.
Yeah, I had a lot of experience with that.
Yes. Okay. So, Mo, when you think about fashion show style, what immediately comes to mind visually?
Everything. I will say it depends on the designer you're going to see. I feel like I will say like New York, I have seen a lot of like not been there, but seen and researched a lot of like fashion show. A lot of them wear black, so that's why we did like the black thing today. And New York is very known for like black and all the different textures and all that good stuff. So that's why we themed out the lookup for today. But I would say designers, brands, I feel like it just depends on the person as well or who's styling them. But a lot of people I know go with the designer that is actually the fashion show designer that they're going to. But yeah, I feel like that's like the vibe of fashion shows is like going in a designer and yeah, that's it. Like just that's what they're doing and that's their attitude is well, who am I going for? So if I'm going for Chanel, I'm wearing a suit or something that brand I love. So yeah.
Like that. So follow up for Mika. When sorry, I lost the question. Okay. When you're getting dressed for a fashion show, what's the first thing you think about?
Well, I feel like my life is a fashion show. So I'm always ready to
Yes.
walk the runway. So my thing is it depends on if I'm going to a fashion show, it depends if I'm working the fashion show or am I attending the fashion show.
Yeah.
Because when you're working, you're supposed to wear all black.
Yes.
So I thought that's what the theme was,
Yeah.
you know? So even
That's
when
true.
I'm working a fashion show, I'll wear all black, but I will be fashionable. So I'm not coming in just regular jeans or whatever the case may be. But I think it's the fashion show, like the theme. Like sometimes I've been to fashion shows where it was a theme. So I try to dress for that theme. But if it's just like a regular fashion show, it depends on the status of the fashion show. Because it's like, it's levels to fashion shows. Just remember that. It's levels to this stuff. So depending on the level of the fashion show, depending on the crowd, I'm going to come, even though I feel like I'm going to come looking like money, not new money, old money.
Okay.
But
Not the old money. Not the old money. That's like there might be a
I'm
Chanel.
looking like
You're right.
old money, not new money. There's a difference. People should know that. But you know, I always try to come correct where I'm gonna stand out. Like you were saying, like different fashion shows. Like if you're going to Chanel, I'm a rebel. I feel like fashion is a rebel.
I
I'm gonna
agree.
come wearing something else because I'm gonna stand out. I'm not gonna come in Chanel or Chanel's looking stuff. I'm gonna come. It's gonna be a Chanel with a twist. So because it's like you want to stand out. Like I think that's what fashion's about. It's about this is your time to shine and go over the top. I love people that are over the top. I don't like just plain, you know, even if you're plain, you have to accessorize it a certain way. So it's like you have your
Minimalism.
one statement piece. So it's just like if I have some shoes that I know I want to wear, I'm like, I want to wear these shoes. I will dress my outfit around the shoes. Or like it's a one signature piece that you want to dress around. So that's how I focus on just what it is that, and then sometimes I might change at the last minute, but you guys know how that is. But it's like if I know I'm going to a fashion show, I probably know what I'm wearing like weeks ahead, months ahead. That's how I am. I'm just so prepared. I love
love that.
dressing up. So
Yes. Love that.
Okay, who are fashion shows really for, and how does this was for you, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I did this one. That's why I was confused. And how does it shape how bold or dramatic the looks are?
So fashion shows are for buyers, press, now influencers, I like to say, and brand image. So of course they're showcasing their work, their new line because they want people to buy. They want to attract that. And they have the press there to create, again, the buzz around that. And it also just showcases their brand again based off of the collection. You always going to see something that's like a staple of that brand. You're going to know that it's a Chanel fashion show. You're going to know it's a Dior, my favorite Schiaparelli. And the more bold, the more dramatic, you're going to create what? More buzz, which means people are going to say, I want that. I want to buy that. And if you see a celebrity have it on or an influencer have it on, we're going to want to buy it. The consumers, the everyday consumers going to want to buy it.
Okay, Mika Starr, Does knowing the audience change how you dress or show up?
I'm gonna show up every time, so it does not matter to me the audience. I'm gonna be more prepared than like make sure you have your business cards. Make sure I always just make sure your outfit stands out because people are gonna approach you like, who is that person? Because her outfit is just it. So to me, it doesn't. I feel like I'm my only competition. So, and I feel like everybody should feel like that.
Yeah.
So the audience doesn't matter to me because I'm just gonna dress for the gods.
And I will say, like, Mika, when just even if you follow her on Instagram, you're gonna know. Yes, when she step out, okay, she's stepping out. So these questions,
Look,
it's
I'm
just
telling
because
usually I be good, but today I been off
Well,
with
y'all
the.
on
Okay,
3.
three.
Yeah.
We're on
So
three.
y'all have excuses on 3.
Okay. So, Mo, do you think people dress for the runway, the cameras, or themselves? And how does that show up in outfits?
Everything.
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 Yes.
Yeah, I think they dress for everything because why wouldn't you? Like that's you supposed to be there to make a statement. So yeah, runways influence bold, trendy pieces, cameras, awareness, eye-catching, unique outfits, personal expressions, comfort, and identity. So yeah. And so the outcome is stylish, creating looks that reflects both trendy and personal identity. So that's what I came up with. But yeah, I'm like very like so when I go back on this, like when I was talking about like Chanel, for me, like I love Chanel. It's my favorite designer. So I'm gonna make sure that I wear Chanel, but I'm putting it on and I'm making sure that it's a vintage or it's something that somebody wore and I'm like recreating or revamping that look, but I'm bringing it where it's a statement piece with it and then I'm changing some things up with it. So people can be like, oh wow, that's 19 da, 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 da. You know, for I'm storytelling. Like when I go into anything, I'm a storytell. And so like for me with the veil, I've been very influenced by Diana Ross. And a lot of her pieces, she wore like little stuff like this in the 70s. So that's why I put it on. So yeah.
And I love it. So
Yes.
cute.
Storytelling. It always helps. So yeah.
So, Mika, I'm gonna throw you a little curveball because I feel like with this question, I already know your answer, and feel free to answer it. So I'm gonna ask you this, but I'm also gonna ask you an additional question.
Okay.
So the question is, have you ever dressed differently because you knew photos would be taken? But we know Mika gonna show up as Mika, regardless.
No, I gotta cut through. I gotta cut through. I have a funny story about that because my grandma told me this. So it was Easter, right? And I was like, oh, pastels, this, that. So she saw me the previous day, right? So then the next day I had like pastels, like tie-dye pastel pants, and then my hair was like all these different colors, like pink, blue, this, that. And she was just like, you never know how you coming. I just wait to see you so I could just see how you're coming because you did not look like this yesterday. So yeah, that's how I feel. Just stay camera because I just grew up with don't go outside with your bonnet on. Don't go outside with your pajamas on because you never know who you're going to meet.
That is very
so
true.
That's why that always stuck in my head because one day I went to the store with my bonnet on and my pajamas on and somebody checked me about that. And it was like literally I just needed to go get, I think it was like some eyelash glue and the store was like right across the street. And I was like, I need some eyelash glue. I cannot get ready until I get my eyelash glue. So they told me that and then it just always stuck to me. So it's just like you never know. You could walk to the store and meet somebody that can change your life. Yeah. And just because it's like your presence is important. So just stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Yeah. Your first introduction is how you look.
It is.
Exactly.
So people see what you wearing before you say hello. So
exactly.
I always say that. Yeah,
and the first thing people always do is look at your shoes.
Yes. I look, it's so crazy because if it's a woman, I look at her purse. And if it's a man, I look at his jacket.
Really?
Because jacket will tell you would he spend money. It's because jackets are like they're expensive for a man, but you could tell like quality and I know tailoring and stuff. So I would look at his jacket, what type of jacket he has on, and then for a woman, I look at her purse.
That's good.
So
I usually do the shoes. I don't know where my eyes just go there.
No, I read that somewhere. It was like a thing, like a survey, and people was like, your shoes. And I thought about it, like, yeah, people do. They look down.
That's the first, Because I definitely dress, like I'll buy a pair of shoes and then I style from them shoes. That's like one of my favorite way of styling, is styling from shoes.
Like you have to buy
what
the shoes
you wearing?
Yeah.
Let me know so I can see what color, what it look like, you know? So I agree.
The other question I had for you was, can you explain a little bit about why stylists wear black when they're behind the scenes for fashion shows?
And I'm going to add something onto this too.
Well, it's like a uniform. So, every job has a uniform. So we look like we're in sync. We're in a group. We're the backstage people, So it's a uniform in fashion. I think it's not just in fashion because I started in the entertainment business. It was also like when I used to do like a lot of the behind the scenes, like at concerts and things like that. It was our uniform, black. Yeah. So it's a uniform. That's what it is. So we can be in sync so they know that you're working behind the scenes.
Yeah, my fact check.
Yes.
So why they wear black so you cannot be seen is why they wear it. So if you're doing something like, so I worked in theater for a very long time. We wore black. So if you're behind the scenes and you're in shade, I can dress my actor without being seen at all. Like they would not see me because I'm in full black. I know how to dress this, person fashion show as well. Like if you need to do something real quick, entertainment, if it's like a concert or whatever, they coming under something you won't ever see because they're in pitch black and they have the shadows and stuff so you can hide in and stuff like that. And it's movies, all that stuff. Like it's just to not be seen.
And that's our favorite color anyways, it's black.
Yeah.
So we love
black, you can do a lot of things with black.
Yes.
So we love black.
We like black.
So yeah. So
I didn't realize how much black I had
I have
until you guys was like wear black. I was
black.
like, oh, I have a lot of black.
Okay. Why do runways feel so far from everybody's wear?
So for this question, I wanted to touch specifically on haute couture runway because you do have ready to wear runway, which is different.
Do.
So I feel like this question is more geared to haute couture, and that's because it's intentional.
Yeah.
And it's created for a certain type of clientele, usually people who have money, who can afford it. But it also shows the technical skills that a designer has. And even to have a haute couture fashion show, you have to use, I think it's called muslin. And muslin is a type of fabric. It's the base fabric of every single couture garment. And if you don't have that, you are not considered having a couture garment, or you cannot have a couture show. It's a whole process. So it's very intentional, and it's like fashion art. Think of couture as like fashion art. And it wasn't, and that's why they started expanding ready to wear, so that way clothes are you can offer clothes to make it more accessible. But really, that's what why, if you think runway, that it doesn't feel like it's everyday wear, that's couture, that's haute couture, and it's intentional. So
I'm gonna give you a fun fact on that. When it comes to muslin, they don't do it like they used to. But when you start a garment, especially in fashion school, you start with muslin, and that's how you start then you might move over and start the other, like that sample piece, but that sample piece always come from muslin. So they don't do it like they used to. They just do a sample piece and then they skipped over that. Like when we was in school, I don't know if you do that too.
Yes, we do.
So
we create our patterns with the muslin.
Yeah.
They
Because when I was talking to somebody not too long ago and they was trying to develop a brand, they was just like, oh, my samples. And I was like, not muslin? And she was like, no. And I was like, we used to have to do like a whole mock
Mm-hmm.
up and you would figure out all the tweaks and all that
Yeah.
stuff. You put it on your form. And so, yeah, they do it with, they're supposed to do it with everything that's designed, but it's not the same like it used to be.
Yeah,
So,
I think y'all just got now y'all have a special technique. If they're not doing
Mhm.
as often, I think that's amazing.
Mhm.
And if you haven't, go look at one of Tom's Brown. I think it may have been a collection last year that was fully made out of muslin, and
Mhm.
people were trying to figure out how Tom Brown was going to display all these garments just with this particular
Muslin.
material. He did it though.
Mm-hmm.
So go
And
watch
it's
that
such a
fashion show.
unique fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's such a unique fabric. Okay. Mika Starr, what details should people focus on instead of the full look?
Well, when I look at like fashion shows, since we're talking about fashion shows, I look at each individual piece. Like I look, because we all gonna see the full look, right? So I look at, okay, the story behind it. So like you were saying, it's storytelling. So
Mhm.
why did they decide to put those shoes with that outfit? Why did they decide to do the hair like that? Why like did they use this particular fabric versus this particular fabric?
Mhm.
So that's what I look at. I look at like the fabric, the technique. Most of the time you can't see everything close up. You seeing it from afar. But some shows let you do the behind the scenes and look at it up close. But most of the time you're looking at it from afar. So I look at why did they use that particular fabric, because you're looking at how it flows. Does it flow? Is it stiff? Like this and that. So, and also I'm looking at the models, because the wrong model can mess up the look.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree.
because the job of a model is to sell it.
Yes.
So everybody, I mean everybody, it can't sell it, you know. So it's just that can break or make you is the model. So I just look at every aspect, from the shoes, the accessories, because
Okay.
in your head you're like, I like that outfit, and you're thinking, how can I dress that up for me, you know? So
Mhm.
I just look at every aspect of it from top to bottom, and I break it down.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely agree.
Yeah, I also think like you and Mo are both stylists and designers. As I'm just really a stylist, and I think that comes with that mindset of how
Mhm.
you look at, because we see things differently,
Mhm.
and so
Mhm.
we're gonna always pick it apart, and then you both have that extra lens on top of it as being designers, because you actually
Mhm.
understand the construction
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
the garment. So
Yeah, in our art school, I definitely learned how to style because my teacher used to be so bad. You need to know how to style it before it goes on the runway. She used to yell at us all the time. So yeah, it goes hand in hand.
So, Mo, what styling elements do you see over and over at fashion shows, regardless of the designer?
Layering, bold colors, oversized silhouette, statement accessories, one color looks. I could never say. Shay, say it for me.
Monochrome.
Yeah. Mixed patterns and sustainable fabrics.
And so, Mika, what's one fashion show styling choice you personally love or hate?
Um, One personally styling that I like colors, so I always look to see what is the new color for that season. So depending, when we go back to that question about how I dress myself at shows, I try to like at least be fashion forward, if like with the color for that season.
Mhm.
So I think last fall, or it was like the burgundy. So I was like, okay, I have to do burgundy. So yeah, so I always pay attention to the colors. Like that is the most thing. Like I always got to figure out what is the color, and that's what I stick to. I don't really stick on like the style or what's like. I do pay attention to what's fashion forward. I do pay attention to that, and then I actually see it like how the baggy look is coming back in, and but it's like different from how it was in the 90s, you know, because people were actually sagging with the baggies, and now it's about being baggy without the sagging.
Yeah,
so,
it's like
overly.
Yeah, it's like really dramatic.
Yeah, but it reminds me of when I used to dress like that in middle school. I used to wear my brother's clothes, so I used to do the oversized everything. So it's
like huge. At a high level, what happens behind the scenes before a fashion show even starts? Right?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot. Let's break it down quickly at a high level. So you're talking about production setup is happening. So that's lighting, staging, seating, so, you know, sound, all of that. Then you have garment prep and any last minute fixes. You have models getting hair and makeup done. You have the stylist making sure the model has their complete look from head to toe. And then you have, of course, the run of show coordination. Sometimes you have a specific order and then you have to probably change the order depending on the garment. It can be very chaotic. And just to give a quick fact, that's actually how I met Mika. Was I was on San Francisco Fashion Week committee briefly. I love saying it like that because
I was there for a very long time.
Yes, Mika was on there, not briefly. So that's why I always like to make that distinction. And we both met at one of the fashion shows, and that was actually my first time being a stylist for a fashion show. And I was like, wow, this is what happens. And it's fast, and you got to be able to take you got to take the order, you got to get the feedback. And it's just like, it's a lot, but it comes together. So that's what happens.
It's a lot. What one role behind the scenes that people never think about?
So I think the one role is, I feel like this person gets different titles depending. It's like the runway, I guess, behind the scenes manager.
Yeah.
And because I've done it before, I think I'm just a natural born leader, but that is a lot of pressure because it's like that person is in charge of everything that goes on behind the scenes. So they're making sure the models are in hair and makeup, the order, this, that. They're working with the stylists, the designers, making sure, because a lot of times you might have a model might have an outfit change or whatever, making sure the outfit change is ready to go.
Yes.
So I think that is the key. People don't understand that it is a manager behind the scenes that runs everything. So just making sure the behind the scenes is together. I think people don't put respect on that position.
Yeah. No, they do not. They do not.
In theater, it's called a house manager.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's like everything, and it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So I definitely can understand that. I mean, I've been behind the scenes on fashion shows. It was a little more different type of skill because it was in a school. So it was a little different. But yeah, theater is a lot like runway too. So
yeah. And it also goes back to like what even Mika said about stylists and how important, because we have that eye to catch. Like depending on behind the stage, you'll have model or models dedicated to a stylist, and you're responsible for their multiple looks. And usually you're going to follow with that model out as they get lined up, because it may be a last minute, like put the hair in place, put this in place. And it takes a stylist's eye to see those certain things of like, that little hair thing out of place is going to make a difference, you know?
Exactly.
And then when they go, now you're running back like, okay, now I got to get look two together.
Yeah.
And so it goes back to like the house manager, the manager of the show, stylist. These are roles that people overlook and don't understand
the importance of it. Like that 1 minute before they walk, it's been plenty of times I was like, hair and makeup, come on, fix her lips, do this, do this, do that. Okay, now go.
Exactly.
And I just want to always also add that Stylists are important, designers. Like, they are important.
Yes, advocate for the stylist.
Yes, do not. You need a stylist. If you're not a designer that's a stylist, you need a stylist.
I
That
agree.
it will save you
Yes.
a lot in the long run.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of just marketing. They just put the whole look on instead of changing it. Because a lot of times when people are, especially buyers, when they go on and sit in that audience, they are picking pieces. Like, this is the statement. Okay, well, I can see this together. Like, so when you have a stylist, they're putting things together, but you want the buyers to be like, I buy this whole look.
Exactly.
Because
That's the
of how
goal.
you styled it and how you presented it to the audience, and it does make a really big difference. So
It
that's what you
does.
want. You want to sell every piece that you put on, but if you putting everything just looking like a one and done,
Yeah.
it doesn't work all the time. Now I know that a lot of people do shop like that when they go to like department stores, but for certain things, so.
I hate when people shop the mannequin.
Yeah,
Do not
yeah.
shop the
I worked at
mannequin.
Macy's. I want this whole look. You be looking like, what this? I can help you out. I used to always like really style people because people would not be like, oh no, okay, well I'll show you some different stuff and we'll just change it. We'll put this one and done on. Then I'm gonna show you different variations of
go.
ways to do it.
Exactly.
And they be like, okay, I want everything. Yep. That's
Mhm.
I made my goal.
So, Mo, how does knowing there's chaos behind the scenes change how you view the final looks and how people show up dressed?
It's just let me know how important fashion is. I feel like it doesn't change because I know it's my lifestyle. I've been in fashion for 25 plus years. So I know why it's that way. I know why it it's really organized chaos,
Yes,
to
it
really be
is.
honest.
Yes,
And I
it
feel
is.
like when you know, and when you back there, and you get it because things happen. And what I love about fashion shows and being behind the scenes is it's so much problem solving and there's so much solutions that has to be had in that moment. And I feel like to see a look develop from chaos is awesome. Like, I think,
Yes.
and it makes you understand how important to see fashion from behind the scenes to the actual runway and to sitting in the audience. So, yeah, that's my answer.
I love that. So, Mika, have you ever seen behind the scenes pressure influence what people wore or how they presented themselves?
I would say behind the scenes pressure. Yeah. I think when it comes to models, like, I feel like designers and people should be more delicate to models because it's
Yes.
like they go through a lot. It's just like and depending on what type of model they're trying to be, like, it's a lot of pressure to, especially like, well, the Bay Area is different because we like try to do all sizes, all backgrounds, things like
very
that.
inclusive.
Yeah, so but beyond the Bay Area, it's like it's this pressure to be skinny, to do this, to do that. So I think it can have an effect on the models. Like, if they have a bad experience, it will make them change how they look or present themselves. So I just try to cater to the models and just try to understand, like, and I feel like you don't understand until you actually modeled. So when you actually model, you're like, girl, you be doing all this. Like, you be sometimes they don't even feed the models.
Right.
Yeah.
Give them water, and and then they'll have them like walk, like practicing for hours in heels. Like,
Yes.
so I'm just like, okay, give the models a break. Like, let's have some water. Let's do this, do that. So I think it can affect their experience in how they present themselves. It's like, if they have a bad experience, or they have, like, sometimes they talk really bad to like, they get mad and take it all out on the models. So it's just, that can affect a person. It doesn't matter how strong you are, because words do affect you. There
Yes,
are
they do.
spells and everything else. So yes.
I do agree.
Yes.
Why do fashion shows sometimes feel rushed or a little messy, and why does that matter?
It's really the time pressure. There's a tight schedule with no room to pause. Once the show starts, it starts. There's no pause. And then you have behind the scene multiple teams moving at once. Like we talked about earlier, you have production going on. You have the models. You have the stylists. You have it's so many people, makeup and hair going. All that happening at once, and then you have last minute changes that has to happen. And then there's backstage constraints sometimes depending on the fashion show. It could be in a smaller space. So behind the stage, that space is even smaller. You have all them different people occupying that. So it's that rushing behind the stage. That's what's happening. And it seems messy, but like you said earlier, it's kind of like it's
organized chaos.
Exactly, organized chaos. And it matters because the pacing and organization of the fashion show, it really affects how the clothes, the story, and the designer's vision is perceived. So all of that plays a part.
What a behind the scene moment that changed how you understand fashion shows. I need to hear this because I was.
I don't want to say no names.
Don't say no names.
Say a particular person.
Okay, so like we said, we met working for, so I worked there longer, and it was just like, I think the moment is just when a person doesn't respect your talent and what you bring to the table. And I think in that moment made me realize that I really don't need this person, because I can branch off and do things on my own. And like, I felt like I had the skill set, and I challenged myself by putting together my own fashion show. So it was just that that was the moment that just taught me that, people expect you to only work for them.
Yes.
Especially if you're interning and things like that, where it's like you're working for free, basically.
Yes.
So, and they have this like attitude, like, oh, you like, it's like a slave mentality, for real. And so, it just made me like branch off with other people. That was the moment where I started branching off and working with other people, and realized that I can work people that respect what I bring to the table. And I feel like I bring a lot to the table. So that was the moment that changed me. And without saying any names,
yes.
that you know what I'm talking about.
I know
Okay.
Which is why my present was brief. But I get that, and I'm so proud of you for doing that, because it's huge to take a stance and advocate for yourself and say, I know the talent I have, and you don't have to take disrespect. And there are people who will respect your craft. So kudos to you for, believing in yourself enough. Because there's some people who don't, and they don't walk away from situations like that. So
yeah,
it's huge.
And fashion is brutal.
Oh, yes.
So, I mean, when you get in there and you do different things, people can be micromanaging and doing all type of stuff. But I've learned, as being a boss that doesn't do anything, and you try to figure out solutions to make it better, like micromanaging and taking away from people like what they're good at, is not going to help anything with fashion. The best way is to work together and figuring things out. And I think a lot of times people gotta be such the me, and it's like, it ain't about that. So we need each other for a reason. So that's what fashion is about.
Yeah.
I mean, without the models, without behind the scenes, without the designers, the stylists, like, it's not gonna happen. You can't.
Yeah.
It's not a one man band. So
No, it's not.
I just wanted to say that. Want to add that on there. As Fashion Week approach, what should viewers actively be paying attention to when watching shows?
The first thing I want to say is, my advice is, understand which fashion show you are watching, because there's haute couture, there's ready to wear, there's menswear, and then there's resort / pre-fall, and then there's also the season. So you have the spring, summer, and fall, winter. And they started combining this seasons because of the sustainability factor in fashion. So the less they have to produce, the better for the environment. So fashion still has a long way to go with that, but they're working on it. So that's the biggest thing, is understanding the type of fashion show you're watching, so you can understand why the certain look is on the runway. If you thinking you gonna get some ready to wear look and you watching haute couture, you are going to be absolutely confused. Yes. Yeah. And then pay attention to the design signal. So what colors, silhouettes, fabrics are being presented. That is a huge insight to trends. So that's another big thing about fashion shows, is they're showing you what the trend is going to be, what you're going to see in your local stores. And then aesthetic, like how much does it match to what the designer is known for? And the thing is, a lot of these fashion houses, Chanel, Schiaparelli, of course, the designer themselves is no longer alive. So you have the creative director, and each creative director, when they come, they bring their own aesthetic to the brand, and you're going to see that in their collections. And then lastly, who is in the attendance, because who's in attendance is also important. Those people are invited there for a particular reason. So that's my advice on that.
Meek and Starr, what part of fashion shows matter most long term?
I think it's that wow factor. You need that one piece that is like wow, because I feel like you're gonna always remember that. Like years later,
Yes.
you're gonna always remember. Like one thing, like one person, and I know I'm gonna get slack for saying this person's name because they're very controversy. So I like Ye. I like Kanye West, and not for his personality. It's his creativity that I enjoy. And the reason why I say that is because when he first came out with his line, people talked about it really, really bad. And they talked about, oh, it looks homeless. It looks this. It's giving homeless wear. And then next thing you know, all these big designers, everybody wearing shirts with holes in it. Everybody's doing this. Everybody's wearing Yeezys. But they talk so bad about him. And the thing about it is, his concept was he was making fashion for everyone. And people missed that whole message. He didn't want to make his clothes cost a whole bunch of money. He wanted it affordable for everyone to wear. Even though, when he was with Adidas and all that kind of stuff, they're about making money. So even though people still wore his shoes, they're comfortable. I like them. They're comfortable. But that's just an example of how someone made an impact in fashion that people really talk bad about. They was just talking about his clothes like crazy. Like, oh, it looked like homeless people wear that. Like, that's what they said. And next thing you know, every big designer is copying off of his style, and everybody is paying thousands and thousands of dollars to wear a shirt or a sweater with holes in it.
Yeah. That's about right.
So I feel like that's the type of impact you have, even though people are going to talk bad about all his antics, but they're going to always talk about, it's going to come back to his styles and what he brought to the table for fashion.
My favorite thing is always to say two things can be true, right?
Yeah.
He is a creative genius, but he also is on the side of certain things. And so I get where people come from, but I get you're looking at it from his creative side, his creative genius. So I think it's two things could be true.
And every artist is crazy. I never met an artist that doesn't have crazy in them. That's what makes artists genius.
It taps into a different side.
Yes.
Well, you also you don't want to be like anybody else. So you do want to tap into that side that's rebellious. Like, you don't want to tap into your calm and collective side. You want to, you know what I'm saying? Because that's where the creative bubble is there, and my eyes always be called weird. Thank you for the weird people too.
Yes.
I'm weird because I think different. I think outside the box, but I also will agree on, like, he was himself and he did his thing, but he never let nobody box him. And that's what it's about with
Exactly.
fashion. You don't
Yes,
want nobody to
box
box
you.
what you have in you, because when you let it out, that's your creative, that's
Mhm.
your designs, that's the looks.
Mhm.
And these are trends and avant-garde and all these different things, because you are letting this inside out into the
Absolutely.
world. Craziness, but
Mhm.
it's art, so
Exactly.
craziness is art,
And
so
I feel like fashion, like you said, that I think people didn't hear the message that he was trying to present because we got distracted with all the extra stuff. But that was his thing. He didn't. It's about not being boxed in and not following what everybody else is doing, and just being yourself and expressing yourself and being open to free speech and expressing yourself. That's why I said, like, all artists are considered weird. Like,
Very true.
yeah.
So
I
I went through that. You're like, yeah, I am. I'm a proud weirdo. I don't care.
I still have people who look at me and be like, I don't know. You're not always.
Yeah.
I don't have to be because you don't understand.
Exactly. People don't
But I
understand
love when I
that.
can get weird.
Okay, because the
Because I
masterpiece.
know that,
Yeah.
I know that
create.
I'm doing something different, and then I am my complete self. When you
Yes.
are boxing and holding yourself in, you're not yourself. You're not being authentic.
No.
Yeah.
And you are being like everybody else.
Yes.
And that's what Kanye was not. He wasn't like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Music wise, when he first came out, I love me some Kanye West.
Oh,
His
absolutely.
music, he is such a
Absolutely.
music
Yes.
You can never take
genius.
that away from him.
But I do feel like you got to know how to be careful with the cuckoo.
Yeah.
But but I do think that he has made a lot of masterpieces, and that's a part of being an
huge
artist.
impact on a lot of things. Huge
so
impact,
yeah.
We can agree to disagree, but that's like, I get influenced by him. Just because I always think about it, like, don't be yourself. Don't
Be yourself,
like
yeah.
everybody else. Like, my guilty thing that I like tech. And nobody knows that. So I'm like a tech. I love tech. I don't know why, but I love tech. But it's just like, I wish I can incorporate fashion with tech, but I'm like not an engineer or anything like that. So I don't know how to do
You're going
that.
to work it out. You're going to
You
figure it out.
could collab with somebody.
Yeah, and you gonna
that's
figure
why
it
I
out.
said with fashion, we need everybody.
Yes, we do.
Your creativity can come into somebody else's creativity, and y'all can create art. That's what collaboration is for.
Absolutely.
And that's why we do need each other. And with art, you can make beautiful things with a team.
Yes,
You know,
can.
in fashion, you need a team.
Yes,
Exactly.
You know, so yeah. Just had to say that.
No, I love it. I love it. This is why we have Fits and Facts and why we bring our guests on, because it gives an additional insight.
Yes,
And I love it.
I agree.
So we are coming to an end.
Yes.
And we're going to have Mo and Mika wrap us up. Starting with Mo, what should people be watching outside the shows? Street style, guest, or front row fits?
Everything.
I love that.
From
Everything.
award shows to TVs. Like, I get a lot of my inspiration off of old movies and movies.
Yes.
I'm such a theater kid at heart. Theater is amazing because you do so much research on eras and you have to deep dive and go
Yes.
down all these like rabbit holes. So with that, I get inspo off of movies and just watching how the stylist, costume designer like created these looks. Then I go into magazines, books, and all these things. But to get your style, go outside that box and do stuff that's unapologetically you. I think you get your style. And like for me, I feel like I'm eclectic. Like I like different stuff. I don't like the same stuff all the time. But I do have a touch of minimalism in me. And we was talking about that, like being, going to church growing up. But I will pop out and show some boobies like I was doing today. Like, I love who I am, but you have to tap into that weirdness and all these different things. But you have to look at every piece of art to get your art. So,
Yes, you do.
you have to look at everything. And like we was talking about on one of our shows, like the street is your runway.
It
You
is.
treat it like a runway. You get
Exactly.
dressed. You put it on. When you put it on, you're able to just express yourself. And that's what it's about. So, yeah, I would say everything.
Everything.
I love
Everything.
your
I love
answer.
that.
Yes.
So, Mika, what
Yes.
Fashion Week outfits are actually worth studying?
Fashion Week. I was stuck on this question. I think which ones are. I like the red carpet. I like to see what people bring for the red carpet. And well, a lot of times the designers give them a particular outfit
Yes, they
to
do.
wear.
Yes, they do.
For the red carpet. So I like watching the red carpet because it gives you the mood of what the show is going to be
Yes,
about.
I agree.
So
Yeah,
I think the
Met Gala.
red carpet is the most important part
Yes.
in anything, like even at award shows. It's
Mhm.
all about the
Movies.
red carpet.
Yes,
Movies.
Yes.
Because movies, they even dress like shoot, at the Met Gala, he was about to come out that F1. What's his name? The black guy.
Yeah, Idris. Something.
Not Idris Alba.
No. It's his name.
Oh, his name Idris?
It's something Idris. Yeah.
Yeah, him.
Yeah.
So that he was like, look, we advertising this movie. He
Yeah.
even did like a whole car little scene and they didn't stop the street and traffic and stuff. But yeah, like
That's
the
your
runway
grand
definitely.
entrance. You
Yeah,
gotta
it's
be-
sure.
Yes, I feel like the runway is the most important. That's your moment.
It's the
I
moment.
agree.
It's the moment.
And that's where the real styling conversation starts.
Next episode, we're breaking down Fashion Week with all this in mind.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you next time.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It was fun.
Yes, it was. Thank you.